Hello, folks. Welcome to Kudlow. I'm Larry Kudlow. We're here live from the Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. Donald Trump sworn in today as the 47th President of the United States. A historic day marking a historic comeback by Mr. Trump and a historic transformation coming from Mr. Trump's enormous popular mandates for change. So, my big take today, God save Trump and America for a reason. And that's the subject of the riff. All right, the golden age of America begins right now. From this day forward, our country will flourish, be respected again all over the world. So began President Donald Trump's inauguration speech as he retook the presidency after losing it in 2020, and this being the greatest political comeback in American history. Mr. Trump was calling his second term a revolution of common sense. Take a listen.
Today I will sign a series of historic executive orders. With these actions, we will begin the complete restoration of America and the revolution of common sense.
All right, he called it a new era of national success and a transformational tide of change that will sweep through the country. In some sense, imitating Teddy Roosevelt. Mr. Trump said he wants America to act with courage, vigor, and vitality, emblematic of history's greatest civilization. And speaking of the Republican Roosevelt, Mr. Trump intends to take back some kind of control over the Panama Canal from the influx of Chinese communist encroachment through Central and South America. And right off the bat, Trump is rolling out a couple of hundred shock and awe executive orders to close the border and reopen energy. Time and again, Mr. Trump talked about the theme of unifying the country. Ironically, 4 years ago, Joe Biden said he'd be the unifier. But Biden became one of the most corrupt and divisive presidents in American history. And speaking of corruption, 20 minutes before his term officially ended, Joe Biden pardoned his entire family except for Jill and himself. His brother James and wife Sarah, his sister Valerie and her husband John, and his brother Francis. A breathtaking admission of family corruption and guilt. But I don't want to digress from Mr. Trump's great moment today. Referring to his new vision of America's manifest destiny, he talked about going to the stars and American astronauts planting the stars and stripes on planet Mars. He also mentioned the new Gulf of America and restoring Mount McKinley to its rightful name. He spoke of increasing wealth through a meritocratic society, and henceforth there will be only two genders, and DEI and woke social policies will be banned during the Trump years and hopefully forever. Mr. Trump spent plenty of time on policies to close the border, including a return to remain in Mexico, Title 42, ending catch and release, military troops on the border, and declaring the drug cartels to be terror organizations. Then, of course, drill baby drill and energy dominance to produce more at lower cost. Mr. Trump spoke of the importance of defeating inflation, especially by ending overspending, and of course the Doge brothers to rescind unnecessary programs and disempower the socialist regulatory state. Surprisingly, he did not emphasize economic growth or the blue-collar boom, and he never mentioned tax cuts. He did return to the theme of unity, however, mentioning his important election gains among African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, urban, suburban, and rural voters. When you boil it down, I think the speech was all about unity, success, and prosperity. And I believe as important as anything in this speech was when Mr. Trump said, and I will quote, "I felt then and believe even more now that my life was saved for a reason. It was saved by God to make America great again," end quote. And I will simply add, God has entered Mr. Trump's heart. And that, I believe, has made him a better person. And that, in turn, will make America that much of a greater country. And that's the riff.